What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at the animated movie Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. Let's waste no time. Let's get right into it. Overall, I like this movie. I think Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons is a really good and very solid standalone Deathstroke story that really explores the complexities of Slade Wilson as an overall character. And that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about this film, is that it felt like a good character study on Slade Wilson. Like, there's more to Slade Wilson than him being an extremely violent and just very good mercenary. He's a dedicated family man. He's somebody who clearly cares about his family, but he cannot balance his life as a mercenary and as a family man. And that's where the deterioration and cracks of pretty much his life start to fall apart around him, as he's more focused on Deathstroke than he is on his family. And this film really explores that notion of the character. And that's always been the more fascinating part of Deathstroke to me, is the Slade Wilson side of the character. Like, when he's Deathstroke, awesome. Like, he's the best of the best in terms of a mercenary. He's vicious, he's violent. He'll do any job if the price is right, pretty much. But he'll also throw in some freebies here and there if it comes into conflict with his morals, which is what we do see in certain scenes in this film, which I actually like, because it further explores who Slade Wilson just is as a human being in general. And I like that sort of stuff. Like, this movie does a really good job at grounding Slade Wilson, and Michael Chiklis, who performs the character, was fantastic all throughout. I've been a fan of Michael Chiklis ever since I was a kid. I loved him in the TV show The Commish. I've never seen The Shield, but I really want to, because I know Chiklis is in it, and Chiklis, I have no doubt, is fantastic in that show. But as the voice of Slade Wilson Deathstroke, I thought he was fantastic. I wish that Chiklis can come back more as the character and pretty much voice him full time, because I thought he was fantastic in this movie. Puts in a really good performance. You know, he really captures the complexities of the family side of Slade Wilson and the mercenary Deathstroke, and he really handles both those sides of the character really, really well. I have nothing but positive things to say about Michael Chiklis as the voice of Deathstroke. The other voice actors in this film, I thought, did pretty good. If there was one voice actress who I didn't really care for, it was the one who voiced Adeline, Deathstroke's wife. I don't know. There is something about the performance that didn't really jive with me. Whenever she tries to become forceful or commanding, it just sounds like she's trying so hard. And the voice itself never really felt natural. It just felt forced. Yeah, like the voice actress who played Adeline, her voice to me was just really, really forced. I didn't really buy the chemistry with her and Chiklis. I didn't really think they jived all that well. I like the idea of the strained marriage between the two characters. That was well written. I just think the acting was a little bit on the not so great side when it comes to the actress who voiced Adeline. However, the actress who voiced the Hive Queen, I thought she did a really good job. You know, Rose Wilson. And I like the whole backstory of Rose Wilson, how she's a product of Deathstroke having an affair with a woman named Lillian and not knowing that he had a secret daughter, pretty much. And I like how the daughter was manipulated by this character called the Jackal, who's pretty much the main villain of this film, who Deathstroke comes into conflict with at the beginning of the movie when he kidnaps his son Joseph. And then he comes back, and then he's pretty much revealed as the overall antagonist and not the Hive Queen when we get to the middle part to the end of this movie, which I enjoyed, and I like the connection of Rose and the Jackal. How pretty much Jackal raised Rose to pretty much be his weapon, essentially, since Rose was lost, but also possessed the abilities that Slade Wilson has, you know, the superhuman strength, the stamina, and things like that. So I enjoyed that aspect of the character. And I like the whole fake out of Rose being a puppet to Jackal, who's the ultimate puppet master. That stuff I enjoyed. The stuff with the character of Joseph Wilson, Jericho, who was pretty much Deathstroke's main target, is pretty much trying to rescue his son. I like all that stuff. You know, I like the opening where we see young Joseph pretty much really like love and Slade. You know, you can clearly tell that Slade loves his son, and the whole thing of him reading him this storybook called Knights and Dragons really plays into the whole movie, and And you really see how Joseph always viewed his father as a knight, like a knight in shining armor, somebody who does good, when in actuality Deathstroke is more associated more as a dragon than a knight. But in Deathstroke's own mind, he always wanted to be the knight to his son, even though he's even though he's something much more vicious than a knight. I like all that stuff, and I like the whole thing of Jericho of Joseph growing older and becoming Jericho and becoming the character of Jericho, who was pretty much manipulated by the Jackal through his puppetry of Rose to become this ultimate weapon to take over the rulers of the world. So I like that stuff. Like, the family dynamics of this movie really works, and it really shows that Deathstroke, he can't keep it in his pants, man. Like, Deathstroke has kids from all over the place. Like, and it's no wonder why his family's all screwed up. But I like how they all come together in the end to take down the Jackal. That whole third act I thought was actually really, really fun. We get William Wintergreen, who is a longtime friend of Deathstroke, voiced by Colin Solomon. He's in this movie. If anything, I think we should have gotten more scenes of Slade Wilson and Wintergreen, since their camaraderie is very prevalent in the comic books and in the many incarnations of Deathstroke. I think that would have been cool to see more scenes with them, to be honest with you, because I like the scenes I did get with these two. I liked it. I thought Chiklis and Solomon have really good chemistry together as these two characters, and I would have liked to have seen a whole movie with just them teaming up to take down a villain, to take down a villain. I think that could make for a cool movie if they decide to do more with the Deathstroke character in his own standalone stories. Like, I think this was a good starting off point, and there's easily room to make more. Now, is this movie perfect? No, it's not. There's certain characters who I think get underutilized, particularly that of Bronze Tiger, who in the 2 fight scenes that he's in, he gets his ass handed to him by Deathstroke, which I was not a fan of, because Bronze Tiger could have been utilized as a good right-hand man, aside from Lady Shiva, to the Jackal character. Instead, Bronze Tiger is just used to get his ass kicked by Deathstroke, so that's pretty much, that's kind of lame, because you could have gotten better fight scenes out of it, and Bronze Tiger could have been meant much more to the plot, to be honest with you. Like, you could have done more with the character. The animation of the film, you can tell this movie was meant to be turned into a TV show. Like, if you compare the animation style of this movie to the animation style of other DC movies, the animation in this one kind of feels not as... it doesn't feel as cinematic as the animation in those movies. And that's a shame, because if this movie was made if this movie was meant to be a full-length animated movie and not meant to be a TV show, I think the animation style could have been improved upon tremendously. It would look fantastic if it had the same art style as the previous DC movies. But since this was meant to be a web series, the animation kind of looks a little cheap in some areas. Not to say that it's bad, but when you compare the quality to other movies, the animation is kind of lackluster. However, I do like the gory violence. It's in tone with the Deathstroke character. I like the utilization of the foul language. It's not over the top, and it's not used in every single scene. Like, just because you have an R rating, that doesn't mean you have to overuse the unrestrictedness of the R rating. Like, you use it when you need to use it. And I like how a lot of the F-bombs were saved for when it actually mattered. And it gave a lot of those scenes more impact when you actually used it when you needed to. I like that sort of thing. I like that stuff. Like, I'm not somebody who is against foul language in movies. I like the foul language to actually mean something when it's utilized properly. This movie utilized it properly, and I enjoyed it. I also really like the ending of this movie, where we're led to believe that Deathstroke had a hero's sacrifice, in which we do think he did, but we find that at the end, he washed upon a shore, he's still alive, and it leaves room for more. Like, I like that sort of stuff. Like, this movie, it does have potential to be something else if they decide, more is to be done with it, which I would like to say that maybe it would, but who's to know? But taking all that into account and just viewing Deathstroke Knights and Demons as its own standalone movie, I enjoyed it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's a good Deathstroke story. It's got good twists. It's got some good turns to it. Some things you can see coming from a mile away. Others maybe not. But when you watch it just as pure entertainment, I think this is a fun animated movie. So, with all that being said, I'm going to give Deathstroke Knights and Demons a solid 8 out of 10. I recommend it. It's pretty good. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments sections down below. Like the video and subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.